Hello, I'm Jordan Midler and welcome to Radge, a show about video games, and if you've ever dislocated an ankle trying to kickflip over an upturned recycling bin, it's probably because of this. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series was a defining moment not only for gaming but for the sport of skateboarding. It influenced an entire era of extreme sports games and infinite terrible knockoffs, but it also influenced a generation of disenfranchised kids that wanted nothing more than to tell their parents to piss off and listen to CKY. The challenges were easy enough that if you wanted to, you could get to every level pretty easily, but the longevity came from collecting every tape, getting every high score, and every secret each level was packed with. Crucially, the game also came with a fantastic suite of local multiplayer modes like Skate and Graffiti Tag. The controls were simple enough that even if you just mashed the controller for a bit, you're as likely to fall on your face as you are to pull off a Christ dare. Since Tony Hawk was my first real exposure to skateboarding, I assumed that it was an accurate representation of the sport. Imagine my disappointment when I finally saw someone riding around the park and they didn't pull an entire pizza out their arse. A lot of my music taste came from listening to the soundtracks of the Pro Skater games. They felt so curated and varied, but also completely appropriate for the game. The game's influence on my life basically moulded my early teen years, buying a board, learning to skate, not to mention my constant desire to act, talk and dress like my personal hero, Bam Margera. As the series went on, Pro Skater gave way to Underground, which was less about landing moves and more about dislocating your hip for the amusement of the jackass crew. The 360 era of Hawk games like American Wasteland, Project 8 and Proving Ground were solid, if rather played out, as evidenced by the success of the incredible Skate series. Proving Ground ended up being the last game developed by Neversoft, the team behind the series from the start. So if you were a developer tasked to take on one of the most beloved franchises in gaming, you'd be interested in making your mark, making the best game you possibly could, right? Wrong. Tony Hawk's Ride and Tony Hawk's Shred are two games so objectively terrible, so unspeakably horrible that all the amount of plastic wasted on those useless pieces of shite sped up global warming to the point where we're merely years away from not having to exist in the same reality as them. And they had the audacity to call a game Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. To invoke that name and legacy meant that gamers expected a return to form, but those jaded among us knew it wouldn't turn out well, and it didn't. It was awful. Just awful. There may be light at the end of the tunnel though. Following the release of Pro Skater 5, Activision lost the rights to the Birdman, meaning the stage is set for a studio that actually cares and knows what they are doing to give Pro Skater the comeback it deserves. Now if only there was another beloved skateboarding franchise in desperate need of a reboot for a new generation. Let me know your memories of the Tony Hawk games in the comments down below. Is there a song you first heard because of the games? Did it make you want to take up skating? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Until next time, I'm Jordan Midler. See you later.